Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Thank you guys for joining the Mamaprenuer podcast. My name is Robbin. I am your hostess with the mostest. And this is show number 17, guys. Number 17. I am so excited and thrilled to be gracing myself upon your presence. I have my fabulous guest tonight. Her name is Samia Rivera. Colangelo. I'm gonna have to get it in an Italian saying Colangelo. But thank you so much for rocking with me and joining me tonight. And we'll introduce Sam here in just a moment. Okay. Before I go any further, this is the time in the podcast where you would share tonight's live broadcast or replay. So if you're on Facebook right now, go ahead and share, hit that share button, and I will be giving out a prize at the end of tonight's podcast. So make sure you're sharing and actually type hashtag mamaprenuer in the comments, okay? So a little bit about me. My name is Robbin Kelton, based here in the DFW area. Working corporate by day, but entrepreneur outside of all of that. Woman of many trades. So hairstylist, what else? Lashes. I sell Total Life Changes, have been for about a year and a half now. Mary Kay, April will be 13 years as a consultant. And I am a paparazzi independent consultant with paparazzi and have been for a little over a year. Hold on. I'll showcase a little bit real quick. So I'm ready for my close-up engineer. So we got a little pearls, little diamonds going. And you guys, after tonight's podcast, I will be going live on my personal page to showcase the February Fashion Fix jewelry that is limited edition. It comes once a month. So yeah, I'll chat a little bit more at the end about it. But yes, I am doing a real quick live to showcase the February Fashion Fix. It's one of those jewelry lines within paparazzi. It's kind of once it's gone kind of deal. Also, I'm growing this Mamaprenuer tribe. So if you're not a part of the tribe, you should join me. I have a group on Facebook, the Mamaprenuer Tribe. It's for entrepreneurs who want to be empowered. It's all about community and network. So join the tribe, the Mamaprenuer Tribe on Facebook. It's a group, okay? Also, what was I going to say? If you have a question, if you have any comments, this is an interactive podcast. You guys type in the comments. I try my best to get to everybody's comments and questions throughout the show, okay? So make sure you interact with us, vibe with us. Me and Sam, we are fabulous and all, but we like it when you talk back. Talk back with us. Talk to us. It's okay. We don't bite. So, all right. So one of the many purposes of this show is I noticed within the pandemic that more female-based businesses were birthed within the pandemic. So we're going into 2 years of the pandemic. And more female-based businesses, especially female-based businesses with women of color, grew tremendously throughout the pandemic, even though we kind of still in it. And that's great to have, and that's why this show was around, to be able to showcase and spotlight those women of color, female entrepreneurs, okay? All right. So before I introduce the fabulous Sam, if you've watched before or if this is your first time, I like affirmations, and I believe in the power of manifestation and speaking positive. And what you speak about, you bring about. And so I thought that I would bring that to this podcast. And so if you're into affirmations and all that fun stuff, feel free to write these down. If you have any affirmations that you like to speak of, feel free to type them in the comments. I would love to see what those are, okay? All right, first affirmation. My success encourages others to go after their dreams. My success encourages others to go after their dreams. Okay. Next, I am happy. I am successful. I am fulfilled. That doesn't necessarily mean business. That's any facet of life, okay? Here's another good one. Money is pouring into my life from all directions. Amen. We all can use a little money from all directions, okay? Sam says, Sam says here. No, funny story about that. When I used to go to the Mary Kay meetings back in the day, and we had them in person, and one of the ladies would go and talk about their highest check in a month. And so if you felt whatever that check was, you grab it from the sky. Like, so somebody say their highest check in a month was $10,000. All right, pull that thing on down. Pull that thing on down. So, if you're in the audience at home, I can't see you, but you know what? If you feel something we saying, pull that thing up out the sky. God heard it. He heard it. Anyway, next, I radiate confidence and positivity. In life, you have to be a little confident. You have to have some positivity. Can't be walking around this thing negative. No good will come to you. I am aligned with God's purpose over my life. I am aligned with God's purpose over my life. I am open and ready to attract everything that I desire in life. I am open and ready to attract everything that I desire in life. That's it, y'all. A little inspo for you people before we go into introducing my Sammy. So before I bring her on, Sam and I met, I was at Nation Star. I worked for a law firm that worked third party with Nation Star Mortgage, which is now Mr. Cooper. 2014 is when I started, and I was there from 2014 to 2016 and helped out on a team that Sam was on. Sam, when you hear her talk, you'll see why I call her my little chili pepper. She's a sassy little thing. She's a sassy little thing, but she knows her stuff. And so that's one thing you can't take from her. She's pretty, she's smart, and she knows her stuff. And she'll check you on it. She'll check you on it in a nice email. It can be real corporate with a little jargon in it.
Yeah.
It probably didn't went over your head. Like, what the hell did she say? It didn't went over your head, okay? And we got to know each other there. And then fast forward to within that same year of me leaving, it was called Marinosi Law Group. Within leaving Marinosi, within some time, we ended up at Carrington Mortgage together. And on a contested lit team, that good old Carrington way. Anyway, that's a whole nother show. But got to work together again and had just remained friends since. And I just love her spirit and everything that she's about. And when she said she was starting a business, and I said, wow, we got to get you on the podcast. She has been one of our faithful, I'll call you watcher because you watching, faithful watchers. I can't say listener because you're physically on. So one of our faithful watchers of the podcast each and every week, or just about, whether it's live or the replay. And just very appreciative of her and her support of little old me in this platform that I am building and growing. And so I appreciate you for that. And so Sam is going to tell you about her business. I think her business is going to help so many people. And I give you guys Sam, aka Chili Pepper.
Oh, yes. Well, my business is called SRC Legal Documents. It actually stands for Samia Rivera Colangelo. It also just kind of works out that my maiden name is Samia Rivera Cruz. So if we ever decide that we want to differentiate my business from, myself and my husband's business, then it works out. It'll either way, Rivera Cruz or Rivera Colangelo, it works. What I do is I'm a loan signing agent and a mobile notary. That's the primary function of my business. But since I have a lot of legal background and a lot of background in project management and things like that, processing for process service and legal aspects, I wanted to bring that to the community and start doing things for people that can't afford attorneys but need help with certain things. For example, you receive an eviction notice, you don't know how to respond to it, what you're supposed to do, you don't have the money to pay an attorney. Well, you don't need an attorney to do those things. You can do them yourself, but if you're not familiar with how to proceed in that legal world, or it's too much for you, then my service kind of helps walk you through that. Now, I'm not a lawyer in any way. I'm not going to represent you as a lawyer. I am going to be your assistant through the whole process. So I will walk you through what it is that you need, assist you with obtaining the documents, any translation services, any paralegal, legal research, document, letter writing, anything that you need. If you are a business owner and you need an employee manual written for you, I've written so many that I decided, let me just throw that in there. So ultimately, I'm just anything that you really kind of need as far as legal secretary or as far as administrative or process management, I'm your girl for that. So that would be what I would do.
Okay. Okay. How long has your business been official? How long have you been officially in business?
So I started doing this about a year ago. And I wasn't really at the time my son was born, and I wasn't really heavily doing it. And then after he was born, 6 months afterwards, I'm thinking to myself, I need to do something. And ultimately, it had to be something that I could do from home where I wasn't bringing COVID home to him. And that started about August of this year. I certified and got my DBA on it in June, and August is when I started heavily doing it.
Talk about that process. You have the paralegal background, but the process to get started. So if someone wanted to follow your footsteps and get into loan signing, what would they do?
So for loan signing, what you want to do is you want to first be a notary. Being a notary in Texas isn't difficult. There's no testing. So all you really have to do is just apply, make sure you pass your background check, make sure that you pay the state fees to the Secretary of State, and make sure that you obtain your notary paperwork. All of the things, generally you can get it for anywhere from $125 to $89. But basically your notary stamp, a notary notebook, those kind of things. Then you go on to becoming a loan signing agent. And what that entails is you can do it without training. You can kind of go at it if you'd like. I would never suggest doing that. I always think that when you are doing something that is as important as signing documents and representing yourself, you should be very knowledgeable. So I always suggest notary training classes to help with making sure that you understand what a document is, how to explain it to a client, because you don't represent anyone except the loan signing company, and that would be yourself and your title company that you're working for. So it's important to know what you're talking about. Oftentimes they'll just give you the paperwork and say, here you go. So I highly recommend notary training classes and loan signing agent classes to help you with making sure that you have all of the paperwork that you need and all of the paperwork that is to be signed, and sometimes you'll get things that you don't have to sign that are not required or you should not sign, and that's important. So notary training classes are at the NNA, are the most recommended thing with becoming a notary and loan signing agent.
Okay. And you touched on something like the difference between a loan signing agent and just a notary. I mean, you touched on that, because that was going to be my next question. Like, what's the difference? Because some people think, they kind of merge together, but like you said, you rather them take those classes for loan signing, so they just, like you said, not just signing that affidavit, like, here you go, stamping, and then
Right. Super important to know the difference between your acknowledgments and your jurats, and how to appropriately, because a lot of times you'll see something, it requires a jurat, meaning you have to swear to the contents of that document, meaning you have to take an oath from the person. And depending on the state in which you do that in, if you don't do that properly, that document is immediately dismissed. So logging that you took a jurat, that you took the oath, that person raised their hand and swore to the contents of that document are important. If you don't know how to recognize that and you just stamp away, you've done it wrong. And a lot of times people just stamp away, and it's happened to me. And I'm like, you didn't take my jurat. You didn't take an oath from me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Super important to do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I remember working for a particular company. We ain't gonna name them. Worked for a company where their document team was just signing affidavits, just signing documents, and it came back and it bited them in the booty just a little bit, just a smidge. And so they took us off the floor from doing what we was doing, and we were down signing documents on, I call it the assembly line. And we was like an assembly line, and it went through 3 sets of eyes before it finally went out, because the team that was working it, and the company got in trouble. So
right,
be so careful.
Yeah. And oftentimes you do run into a lot of new notaries that don't know that they're not supposed to just sign things, or this person has signed something and it wasn't done before you. And this literally happened to me recently with a court where they signed and notarized, and I said, well, how did that happen? My attorney didn't sign this in front of you. It literally, the document says signed and sworn before me. Oh, well, that was a mistake. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not serving this. This is a lie. This is not how we do business. You're going to send that back, and we're going to do it properly. So to me, that's super important. I take my business and I take the law very seriously. So when I represent you, if I don't know the answer to something, and I'm not going to tell you I know, I'm just going to look it up and make sure that we can arrive to that conclusion together. It's never going to be where I am going to do something that is going to put you at risk or me at risk of losing my career, or you of ending up in prison, or either one of us ending up in some sort of fine. That's not how I do business. I always do everything by the book. Yeah. There's no gray area for me.
Yes, you do. We got some Carrington stories, some Nation Star stories. We ain't even gonna go into that. No, but I know she do. But I know she do everything by the book. Yeah. Ain't no cutting corners with chili pepper. All right. Okay. Sheila wants to know: Are you signing with a company to get leads? That's my next question. How do you market for your signing company? Because it's just you.
I have a platform in which I go to that I can get leads from. It's not really anywhere that works for one particular thing. What works best is getting title companies and people that will work for you. So I started off with a person that I knew personally that worked at a title company, who started off with direct referrals to me. So while there's a lot of companies that will say, well, pay us this much and we'll send you a business, I wouldn't do it that way. I just kind of do it by word of mouth. I think it's very important to do it that way, just because If you start going specifically to the title companies close to you or a home that's selling nearby, they're having an open house, just walk in, introduce yourself. That's a better communication. That's somebody that can vouch for you. That's a, I met her and she was wonderful and I had a positive conversation. She made an impact. And you know what? Send my loan documents over to her. This is who I want to use. And it creates a relationship. And vice versa, when you have in turn, someone who's looking to buy a house, you can say, you know what, use this person at Freedom Title, or use this person, I know who sells houses. And that's how I believe business should be done. So I like to get in contact with people directly. If that means going to someone's house and selling donuts, or bringing donuts, I'll do that. I did pick up a wonderful idea by just kind of looking onto YouTube, and I passed this on because I thought, wow, that's so creative. This lady put her business name on a bunch of number 2 pencils.
Love that.
Donated it to the local school with, things so that the kids can have it. You know how you put those backpacks together for, that's what she did. And she did, pens, and she did colored pencils and little zippers with her business name and her mobile notary information, and boom. All of these kids took it home. Well, now you need a mobile notary.
Parents. Yeah.
You can't leave the house, it's cold, I don't want to. Oh, who would? And there it is. So business like that, that's the way that I would say to get started, is up close and personal with people
I saw it on TikTok. A lady had some little gift boxes, and she had notepads. She had some other stuff, but it was in these, look like the gift boxes you put cookies in, or type of pastries in. And she went into hospitals, and she did a quick little video of some places she went. It was like marketing day, and she had all these little trinkets, and it was so smart of her. And she went to hospitals and just realtors and all kind of stuff. And hey, you got to be creative with your marketing. I tell folks, they ain't gonna knock on your door. You better get off your tail and go find the customer. #find. Go find the customer. Or, in your case, word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best form of marketing. Another question we have for you in the comments: what is the farthest you've driven for a signing?
The farthest I've driven, for me personally, I don't like to go that far, because the cost of gas right now is absolutely astronomical.
$3.
So I calculate it by how far I'm driving, how much I'm printing, because that's important, right? How much I'm printing is the most, I think, expensive thing, because you're doing a lot of ink if you're running on the low toner. So if you're printing 500 pages and then after that I have to drop it off and I can't do scan backs and things like that, it's, I'm never going to drive an hour. I like to stay, close. But if I am already in some direction and it's another 15 minutes from there, but an overall 45 minutes from my house, I'll do it. I try to get things all the same day.
Okay. Cool. All righty. Can you do this business as a part-time job? That was a question that was given to me.
I do everything as a part-time job because my first primary job is to be a mom. And I'll tell you, I have one and I'm done.
Amen.
It's a lot
one and done ministry. Amen.
He's a lot of work, and I need to be able to do that. So I do have a part-time gig, and it brings me roughly $1,000, a week. And sometimes it'll completely die down and it'll be $1,000 a month, but the schedule is up to me and it works.
Okay. Now, do you set up your own rates? How do you determine, because you do a lot of different documents. You say you do manuals, evictions, what else?
Well, let's see. I do manuals. I do all of your, for example, I-9 authorization forms. I do any of your loan signings. So loan signings for me, anywhere from $175 to $250, depending on how many documents, how far I'm driving, and how urgent. If you need me to do it in 2 hours, you're looking at a little bit of extra money.
Okay.
And so that would be in the 250 range, but 175 to 200 is typical. If it's just 30 pages and I like to see how many documents pages I'm printing, I wouldn't mind charging $100 if it's right down the street. So these are things that you kind of have to weigh in when you're calculating things, but that would be, my suggestion. You can, if they offer you $75 and it's like right there, you can say, you know what, yes, or you can say no. I want 150, and they might take you and they might not. Oftentimes they'll try to shop around for a lower price, but at the end of the day, if they really need you, you'll get it.
Okay. Cool. I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, we can come up with a business idea, can we?
Yeah.
Sam said, I ain't leaving the house. I'm gonna be here with the kid. I am going to we're gonna make this thing work. And I think it's just brilliant, a brilliant idea. And just to do, I did some research on loan signing. Is so many people starting businesses just on being loan signing agents, and just learning a lot about the field. What's something that surprised you about getting into loan signing? Like, oh my God, I didn't know that.
First, I think the number of people that are doing it is surprising to me. But for me, I'm always willing to help someone, train someone. Please email me if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm going to share that information, right? My game and your game are going to be two different things, and we could build a partnership. If there's a loan signing that I can't get to and I get that lead and we create that connection, I will say, hey, I can't do this. Do you mind reaching out to someone I trust? And the first time that I did that with somebody was someone who offered to collect, and I won't say that company's name, but they offered to collect my business cards. And I gave that person my time of day. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Let's schedule something. Let's meet for coffee. And anytime I can't get to anything, I'll give it to you. So a week later, I got a call and I said, I can't get to it, but this person came to my home, try this person. Lo and behold, she got the business. Well, she was scheduled to pick up the business cards from me so that we could do the same thing. And she never did. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, we had an opportunity to get together, and do you want to reschedule? She said, oh, my kids got sick. And she never contacted me again.
Wow.
And for me, I said, wow, not only did I refer you to someone, but I put money in your hands, money that could have gone to me or could have gone to anybody or no one, but I put it in your hands. And what you did was you took it and you said, you know what? I'm a person of my word. And if you never gave me a referral, I'm okay with that, but at least keep your word. Now I know that you're a person that I can't give business to. I would never refer. I'm never going to badmouth you, but if someone asks about you, I can't give you. And I will then tell that story, which is, look, somebody gave me their word. And the cattiness of this business and the number of people that don't really, truly, honestly put in the work that it comes to when it comes to really being knowledgeable about the documents is really, really surprising. So if you go onto some of these notary forums, the questions that they ask, you're like, wow, really? You've been doing this for how many years now? And it's really scary because your loan is based on the accuracy of someone's knowledge. And I'm like, let me look at that. What's it say? Because someone may be telling you you're looking at a certain kind of document, you're signing it, assuming that that's what it is, and it really is not correct. So those are a few things that were surprising as a notary agent and a loan signing agent that was starting off.
Okay. Now, folks, because I'm going to talk about networking in just a minute. Folks, when you network with folks, especially along the same line of business or not in the same line of business, be careful how you treat people and how you do business. That can come back on you tenfold. Sam just made a very good point. if somebody were to ever go back and ask about you and how you do business, and you do something similar to what the person did to Sam, Sam can easily say, don't do business with them. They shady grady. Don't do that. You know, be careful how you treat people, especially in business, because it always comes back on you tenfold. Again, Sam just touched on something. Word of mouth is the biggest form of marketing. So, and your reputation is everything. So
And
I just had to touch on that because that's crazy to me. But you see that a lot in business settings, and you see it a lot with chicks. I don't know what it is. Nobody's gonna take nothing from you. There's room for everyone to eat and grow. There's room for everyone to eat and grow. So you don't have to do shady stuff.
You don't know who that person is. So sometimes you look at somebody and you treat somebody a certain type of way, and 10 years from now, they might be in a position to give you business. And
that part.
And I'm telling you right now, it goes a real long way. And it doesn't even have to be in the line of business in which you do. I remember this. I don't remember anybody from high school who was nice to me. Most of those people, I forgot their names, but the people that wronged me, I know their first and last names like this.
Yes.
It's always easier to remember the negative, and if you make that bad impression, it's going to stay. And so part of what I want to make sure that I'm doing with my business is not leaving a bad impression. So if I do something wrong and you're unhappy with it, I will put it in my contract. This is what you're going to get back. I have no problem. You know, a $25 fee for me, I'll happily give it back if you're going to walk away from this, happy. That's not going to be a problem. Am I ever going to do business with you again? Depending on the scenario, it may not be that, but
nope.
I want you happy.
Yep.
So for me, that's important.
Integrity is everything, folks. Everything. Oh man. All right, Sammy. Anything else you care to share about the business of Sam before I go into my discussion topics that I'm keeping you on for?
No.
You done talking about yourself? No, just playing.
I think so. I mean, we can go on to discussion topics. Let's go.
Okay, discussion topics. And Sam's website is being posted. If you need any of her services, please reach out to her. She'll be happy to assist. Okay. Happy. Okay. So hold on. Do you carry E&O insurance? That's a question.
Yes, ma'am. I absolutely carry insurance, especially because I'm a DBA. Part of what I do, I want to insulate my business, so I absolutely carry it for loan signing. It's the minimum is 25,000, I believe, and I think the highest that I've seen is about $1 million. Anywhere in between there. When I started off and I was doing very much, I kept the minimum. I think it was like $18 for the year. And now I've moved on up. But, I would suggest that if you are doing some loan signing things and you're doing some notary work or mobile notary work that is part of your contract or any business that you do, that you make sure that you have a nice little clause in there that says, if you sue me, you will only get what is part of my E&O insurance. That way, if you do have a DBA, you're insulating your personal assets. LLCs tend to do that, but you can talk to an attorney about those options. But if something is in writing, you sign here, you understand that you're only going to sue me for my $25,000. That's it. So, that's what I would suggest on E&O insurance.
I love it. She said that's as good as it gets.
Yeah. You're not going to sue me for $50 million because I don't have it, and no.
Okay. Also, if you are in need of Sam's business, if you are you deal with real estate companies and all that, just title companies, or just a little bit of everybody?
Deal with anybody. Anything that you need me to do, we will work something out. If I cannot help you, I will refer you to someone who can help you. If I don't know anyone who can help you, I will try to find someone who can help you. My whole job really is to try to get people to do what they want to do. So if you need a document signed and I can't do it, for example, someone reached out to me and said, hey, I need an immigration representative. I am not legally allowed to represent you in an immigration hearing. I could help you with your documents, but I can't represent you. So knowing the income limitations that this gentleman had, I went ahead and I researched on my end. Now, it costs time and energy to research, but I want to make sure you walk away saying, hey, look, that was good for me. So I went and I researched and I said, here are the particular locations that you can get free assistance with an immigration matter. And I sent him on his way. Did that help him? I don't know. But at least I did a little legwork that maybe someone is incapable of doing for themselves. I'm happy to help where I can.
Okay. Awesome. Look at you. Just so sweet. Sweet spirit. All right. I'm just giving you a hard time. But few discussion topics I want to kind of chat on tonight. First is trusting the process. Trusting the process in life and in business. Oftentimes right now we're in a microwave society. We feel that we should, we start a business and the business is going to thrive like that. And then you set yourself up for disappointment when it doesn't quite go in the direction or the way that you like. What made me think of this topic was, it's Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown, if you have not heard of her, she's an influencer, she's an actress, she does a little bit of everything. And I've seen her on a lot of shows this week, and that just popped up in my mind. I love her spirit and everything about her. She's really positive. But Tabitha's journey is like 20 years old. Like, she's been at this thing for 20 years. How many people can say they've gone through their career path to actually see the rewards from it and will be patient for 20 years? And I know me, I'm as impatient as they come. I'm impatient and patient at the same time. Is that a thing? Anyway.
Yeah. It sure is.
Just thinking about her journey. I mean, from YouTube to my sister used to tell me about these sandwiches, child, that she would get from, Trader Joe's, one of them places. And to see her on Ellen the other day and Tamron Hall now, and just the process. So I say that to say, trust the process in your business. Some people, you may not be at the in your journey of business where you want to be, kind of stick it out. That's the only way you're going to know if it's going to really work out, by sticking it out. And even when it's the toughest times, or even when it's, you don't see movement. And so Tabitha Brown was just like a great example of trust the process. That you're not going to be an overnight success. And anybody that tell you that they business thrived overnight, they lying. They went through something. They went through some trials, some tribulations, some jumps, some valleys, some peaks, some mountains. They went through something. Anything you care to add?
Well, I think part of trusting the process is sometimes you're so invested in your own business that you don't know what you're doing wrong. Right? And I'll give you the best example. When I was setting up my website, I was doing it on my own and I wanted to cover a lot of things. And I sent it to my dear sweet husband, and he looked at it and he said, well, I think you should change this, this, and this. And I looked at him and I said, but this is what I wanted to say. And he's like, yeah, but I think it would be better said this way. So I went back and I changed it. And at first I was a little annoyed because I'm like, I don't think that it was that big of a difference between what I said and what he said. But at the end of the day, I was looking at it too closely. I loved it too much. I wrote it. I'm attached to it. He's looking at it as I'm not attached to this. This is, me giving you my honest opinion as the receiver of this information. And for me, it sounds a little convoluted, too wordy. And so when you are doing this and you get stuck ask for somebody to give you some feedback, ask for somebody
Yes.
some creativity, and take that and just go with it. Making that little change, if it's not going to collapse your business to make that little change, it might be something that you try and gets you out of that rut. That I think is really important to take away from that.
I'll give an example. One thing I like about our fearless leader, which I didn't shout her out earlier, pardon moi. Shout out to our fearless leader of the power team. Her name is Kesha Cash. Kesha is really good about giving input on things. So if you post something or if she sees something that can need a little tweaking, she'll give you that insight. So it's okay to ask for help or constructive criticism, because not all criticism, you ain't got to be over here in your feelings. And so that's what I love and appreciate about Kesha, her feedback. Because you need somebody that's going to give you some feedback. You don't need yes people all the time, right? Yeah, girl, that's cute. Yeah, girl. No. If it ain't looking, presentable, professional, whatever, it's good to have that second eye on it. Even if you're just like Sam just said, but I like it. I like it that way. Somebody said they're talking about Tabitha Brown. They think her journey started during another time in life, which yes, her again, 2002, she was in a whole bunch of movies, like straight to DVD movies, all kind of stuff. What does it say? Plus, I think her journey started in a different day and time. Most people are just starting business right now. The mindset is different and no one is patient. You're right. Because again, everybody wants it now. They wanted it yesterday. And not willing to put the work and the effort into it. This also came from a conversation I just had with someone that was getting impatient with their business, which I understand. And it's hard to do a business during a pandemic, especially if it's one of those businesses where you can ship a little bit all over the place, just not locally. And she was getting impatient with her business. Sam, one question I didn't get to ask you. Do you do signings for all over the country, or is it just locally?
I don't do it. I do local signings. As a notary, I can only sign in the state in which I'm licensed to. However, a lot of my legal work is not limited to just the state. So I have New York background. I have legal background in Florida, things like that. Mortgage, for example, all 50 states. So if you need assistance with completing a mortgage loan document, I can help with that. I can help with kind of keeping track of that, which oftentimes people get lost. They don't understand what all of that mortgage jargon means.
Right.
And it's a lot of what the difficulty is and the hiccups that come in. So it depends on what you need. Loan signings are just local. Notary work is just local. But on that note, you can also become a notary online. So a remote online notary, which is also it's called a RON notary, which is different than a mobile notary that comes to your home. So also something to take away is RON is also a thing.
Okay. Yeah, someone texted that and I forgot to ask you when we were on the business part, but you're still on the line, like we on the phone. You're still on the line. Thank you for that. Thank you. Next, networking your business during a pandemic. Okay. I get these questions a lot because I talk about networking on the podcast in the Mamaprenuer tribe. So make sure y'all join. If you're an entrepreneur, female entrepreneur, please join the tribe. Would love to have you there. But I just got a few tips on how to network during this pandemic. Now, I'm getting back out there in person. It's more personable for me. COVID ain't going nowhere. So I'm still doing in-person stuff. So if someone is having a vendor event, you best be believing I'm trying to get on as a vendor in some shape, form, capacity. Okay. Trying to build that book up for 2022. I did quite a bit of vendor events last year, got to network. That's how I have a podcast, thanks to a vendor event, a networking event. Facebook groups, kind of just talked about it. I have the Mamaprenuer Tribe. There are tons of Facebook groups out there, y'all. I mean, you can get into a Facebook group for pretty much anything, any line of business. You guys can like the sky, and I'm pretty sure there's a Facebook group. I like the sky too. I like it when it's blue outside. Just saying, because there's a group for everything on Facebook. Keep building your online presence. Again, Facebook, any type of social media. LinkedIn is the business. If you ain't on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. Clubhouse. There is a room, like I said, a group on Facebook. There is a room on Clubhouse for everything. Everything. There is a group for everything. I mean, you type in, again, Buffalo Bills fans. I'm pretty sure there's a Buffalo Bills fans group on Facebook, and she's a Bills fan. That's why I'm saying this. And there's probably a room on Clubhouse for it. TikTok, y'all. You can connect with folks on TikTok. I mean, all that stuff. YouTube, hell, Slack. If you haven't heard of Slack, look it up. You know what I'm talking about. Twitter, if you still use Twitter. I know this podcast is played on Twitter and everywhere else. The ongoing joke about this podcast that it will be in space at some point. Anyway, now once you've done gotten those connections from any of your personal connections or new connections online, set up something to connect with them. Don't be just networking on Clubhouse and you ain't done nothing. You just built your friends list. Actually get out there and have a conversation. Do a Zoom call, FaceTime, Facebook Messenger got, video chat. I like in person. Meet me down at Starbucks, somewhere, some coffee house. Let's have some coffee. Let's get to know each other. Let's see if we can vibe somehow. Because again, in networking, whether you're in the same line of business or not, you can connect somehow and be able to help each other in business or others. Yeah.
On networking, I have a few ideas for you, though.
Yeah, come on.
Don't forget Nextdoor. You can open a business site on Nextdoor.
You sure can.
Give you your close range neighbors. Take a look at community events. Like out here in Louisville, we have our Louisville gun range. Drop your stuff over there. There's a lot of times where people will go in. We'll do it there. So look at your community events. They have this thing called Cops with Donuts once a month. Cops actually come in. They talk to the community. So you actually have your neighbors there talking to the police officers, talking about their concerns and things like that. You can network. Bring your business cards. This is what I do. Really nice to meet you. Oh, I'm concerned about that too. And now you also are bonding over something that you're both concerned about. So not only that, your wineries. Go to your wineries. People are a little bit more friendly when they drink.
They relax, baby. Yes. Give me your business card, girl, with a glass of something.
And they remember you
in their hand.
Yes, ma'am. And they remember you.
And what else? Chamber. Whatever your local chamber is, Chamber of Commerce, there's always meetings going on. Kicker with chambers, though, with their meetings, a lot of their meetings are during the day. So if you have a job, corporate job, so like myself, I used to, take off a few hours, especially when I worked remote, and go to a chamber meeting. Chamber meetings are fun. Again, it's a good way to network, and they're fun. They're normally like a salt grass or something right before they open up for the day, and it's a great way to network and connect. But yeah, again, what you say? You said Nextdoor, and then on Facebook, there's local groups within your Facebook. Because I joined some around my area just to connect and to promote the businesses and such. But yeah, got to get your name out there, because again, guess what? COVID We at the Omarion variant at the moment. Omarion, Omicron. I know what the real one is. Omarion is just one of the very many variants we have. I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with another variant, and it's just going to linger on and on. So do not let COVID stop you guys from networking and meeting people. The gym, wherever you go, whatever your leisure is, there's a will, there's a way for you to get out there and network within that.
Leave your business cards at laundromats. People get bored. We read those things.
That is the laundromat.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
Drying the whites, and then you over here looking over, talking about Sam's business card. Okay.
And that's the other thing. So like you're looking at like those tax offices and the El Ranchero.
Yeah.
Drop your stuff in there. There's a lot of places that you go on a regular basis that have nice little boards that will allow you to just put up a business card and just tag them on and keep rolling.
UPS store does that too. I've done that at the UPS store. They have a whole section of, where business owners can leave their cards, postcards, such. Also, if you have an email list, believe it or not, email list, text list is another way to kind of get your name out there, get your presence out there. You never know who may need that business. So, anything else you want to add to that before I go to my last and final?
No.
Final topic. All right, girl. You put some stuff in there. Come on now. Come on, laundromat. I had a joke, but I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. Lastly, I heard someone recently talk about, I want to start that business, but I'll get around to it. Or, well, I got this going. Oh, I got this. I got the kids. Oh, I got that. And I stopped by. Sound like a pastor tonight. I stopped by to tell you, life is short. If we ain't learning nothing right now with COVID, people dropping like flies. If you know you want to do a business, get your butt out there and start that business. My mantra for this year is do it scared. I don't care how scared you are. I don't care how broke you are. There's a will, there's a way. Get out there, start that business. My national sales director's mama, who's for Mary Kay, who's a retired national sales director, she used to have this saying called the Din Din Club. Do it now. Do it now. Don't procrastinate. Get out there and start that business, whatever that is, whatever that passion you have. Don't let your circumstances stop you from starting that business that God has put on your heart. I just, had to throw that out there. That's my, take action moment. This is a take action, do it now moment. You have anything you want to add to that, Sammy Pooh? That was just my little spiel. I heard that from two different people this week. I just had to throw that in there.
I think that for the take action, the part that kind of scares a lot of people is the spending money to make money aspect of it. As a loan signing agent, you got to get a very, very good printer, and you are dropping some money. And you're like, wow, how am I going to do this? Like, make your payment plan, figure out the rental of one, figure it out. But don't let the idea of spending some money stop you from doing your business. That is going to have to happen. In order for you to make money, you're going to have to spend money. I'm not saying go out and get you a $2,000 unit, but you're looking at about $700 depending on what it is. So just be prepared to do that and do it.
I agree. Also, it's okay to invest in yourself. This year, I look over everything I have planned for 2022 so far. And this is a big year of investing in myself. You have to invest in yourself because no one will invest in you but you. And so this has been the year of investing in myself. And I strongly suggest people go to events, go if you're, needing to learn a particular skill, Learn how to be a speaker, a better speaker. Learn how to market your business better, whatever. There's so many. Again, we have so much access with this little phone that we can find somewhere to do some personal development and invest in ourselves. It's the time to grow and elevate, y'all. No more sitting at home, doing nothing, twiddling your thumbs, thinking somebody gonna come and knock on the door and be like, opportunity, it's knocking. No.
And on the investing in yourself part of it, also like try to come up with ways to also combine with others. So for example,
Great.
I'll throw it out there. If you want to do an event and you're like, man, I don't have $300 to drop for an event to do, see if somebody else is willing to do it with you, go half with you and say, hey, let's do this as a dual event. You and I work together in order. Can you plug that in order to establish a partnership?
Yeah.
And go ahead and do it together. So like Louisville Mall, you can rent a table for like $25.
I've done it.
Yep. And go half with somebody and just say, okay, you take half the table, I take half the table, and we'll do it together. So those are things that you can certainly do in order to kind of work together if finances are a little tight. Again, you got to get creative, you got to network, but once you start figuring out who does what business, excuse me, I'm plugging me in, who does what business and how they get it done, you can start really saying, hey, this is how I'm going to move forward. So again, you just got to be creative and say, okay, I'm going to do this. And it becomes hard, but you just have to say, I'm gonna take that time, I'm going to spend the $25 that I would spend on a movie. I'm going to spend it on this business. And it may not go anywhere the first day, but people constantly see you, they get used to you, they start networking, and there you go.
Yeah. And consistency is key.
Yes.
I can't stress this enough. I probably get on some people's nerves with my posts. Well, you know what I'm doing. I'm gonna leave it at that. But for real, consistency is key. So nobody gonna know what you do unless you don't talk. If you don't talk about it, no, you're gonna get lost. Lost in the wind, because no one's gonna know what Sam does. If Sam don't say, I have a loan signing business, if she doesn't market herself, guess what? No one's gonna know. So you have to continuously put in the effort, even if no one is rocking with you. Okay. So that's my little spiel on that. Thank you, Sam, so much for joining tonight's show.
Happy to have been on. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I think you've done a wonderful, amazing job. And I am just impressed at really how far you've gotten in such a short period of time. It's like, whew, there you go. And, I'm so happy to be on.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Sam's link to her website has been posted throughout the chat. Please feel free to check out her website at any time. Make sure you're following the Power Team platform. We are always doing something. I think it's first and third Wednesdays with Kesha and Dr. Real. Myself, I am second and fourth Thursdays from 8 to 9 p.m. Well, all three shows are. Bree was just on the other day. I think Bree is changing her schedule. I think Bree's going to twice a month on Mondays from 8 to 9, buying and selling with Bree. So make sure you're following our platform. Our shows are amazing. Okay. So make sure you check us out. Lastly,
did want to add another thing though. If anybody wants to email me, src@legaldocs@yahoo. That would be it. I'll send it over to you. srclegaldocs@yahoo is my email. Email me any questions, anything you guys need. Happy to help.
Awesome. And lastly, I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to talk about it again. So the minute we are done with this podcast, if you are my friend on Facebook, if you follow me in any shape, form, or capacity, hop over to the Robbin Kelton personal page. I am going to be showcasing paparazzi jewelry live, the February Fashion Fix items. So check me out right now. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.